This year alone, America was hit by numerous natural disasters. Entire cities have been washed away from flooding and leveled by devastating tornadoes. More than 500 Americans have lost their lives, and hundreds of thousands are without basic necessities. But who will come to America's aid? Who will help us in our time of economic crisis? Hello, my name is Ken Howell, and I believe that we should stop supporting countries that support terrorism. Terrorism often comes and seeks asylum from poor countries such as Libya and Afghanistan. The U.S. is currently $14 trillion in debt, and every day we go further and further into debt. The U.S. spends billions of dollars supporting these countries that support terrorism. Economic development itself can increase equality, but recent studies have shown that foreign aid does not go for what it's intended for. In 2010, the U.S. supported 180 different countries with $45 billion in U.S. aid. Foreign aid is an important tool in our foreign policy, but is the money being spent in the right way? America cannot just go out and buy its own friendship and loyalty. An article in the Washington Post showed the U.S. provided billions in military assistance, health care, social welfare, and billions in humanitarian relief. But what happened to taking care of America first? In my opinion, charity should start at home. The Afghan government last year received over $3 billion in aid, while Egypt and Pakistan cashed in billions since 2009. Israel and Haiti, which was hit by a catastrophic category, were the top 5 countries that received financial support from America. Terrorism. Afghan, Egypt, and Pakistan all have one thing in common. That would be terrorism. Terrorism, America has been fighting in every village throughout Afghanistan. We have been fighting Taliban through the hillsides and mountains. And on May 2nd, 2011, Americans learned that bin Laden had been hiding out in the past 5 years in a military town in Pakistan. And the new Egyptian leader to Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, is one of those countries that support and harbor terrorism. These countries continue to support terrorism. America should stop foreign aid to these countries. The United States is currently $14 trillion in debt, like I said, and we just keep spending money wastefully. A couple months ago, we were depending on shutting down our own government. We were going to close national parks, U.S. museums, and all of our national treasures. We even considered paying federal employees that we didn't seem necessary, such as our police, fire department, and even stop paying our military. With our own government in shambles, how can we continue to pay these corrupt governments? The United States, like I said, is $14 trillion in debt. But we continue to support these corrupt governments that do not support U.S. interests throughout the world and throughout the United Nations. Some of the largest beneficiaries of your federal tax dollars over the past centuries consistently voted against us in the United Nations. Many of these countries view Americans in a negative light. From 2000 to 2008, the United Nations General Assembly, about 95% of the time, voted against us and our U.S. interests. 2/3 of these American aid goes to Muslim countries, while 1/3 goes to Arabian nations. So why are we paying an arm and a leg at the gas pumps, you're probably asking yourself. Most of these countries in the Middle East display little or no loyalty to America, but we continue to throw money their way so they can build their palaces and golden statues. In April 2002, a study showed that 92% of Egyptians believed America was a threat to their way of life. This is unrealistic, despite that the U.S. has been providing assistance on an average of $2 billion a year since 1979 to Egypt. Ken Alderman, President Reagan's United Nations ambassador, was shocked when he showed up to the United Nations in 1981 to find out which countries didn't support U.S. interest. He went on the record by saying, "Did we waste all this money? Can America buy any love?" At what point is the United States foreign aid a waste of money? Does this aid go to the countries, and does it do any good? In 1970, the world's wealthiest countries agreed to give 7% of their gross national product to support the agricultural, the economical, the educational, democracy, and humanitarian assistance to these third world countries. But most of the money doesn't go for the intended reasons. It doesn't go to improve the greater good, but most of it goes to support these corrupt governments and corrupt politicians that grow wealthy off their people's backs. The past couple of years, America has been hit by a recession, which has forced almost 1.5 million people to go homeless. and it will increase over the next year as jobs are lost and the economy keeps going down and the housing market keeps busting. And this fact was provided by the National Alliance to End Homelessness. But while America keeps worrying about civil rights of other countries and living environments throughout the world, perhaps America has stopped paying close attention to what's going on in its own country. America currently has more than 600,000 homeless living on our streets in every state. There are millions of people living below the poverty level. America is quick to aid and address hunger, disease, and human misery to third world countries, but how about we start addressing some of these issues in America? The United States needs to be involved in the world, but at what matter and at what cost? The money that we've been spending on foreign aid could be greatly reduced. Our own debt here in America, and at some time America needs to stand up and be heard in the United Nations and get our interests passed. We need to quit throwing money away to these corrupt governments. Funneling money to these governments such as Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Egypt, to me, it's just a pure bribery. America should stop all foreign aid to countries that support terrorism and that countries that do not support the U.S. interests. Let's find out who our true friends are, and let's put America first. Thank you.